Michelle Obama had to pay money, which would be the fee to the mail, if you catch my drift. In case you don't, she got a sex change operation. You know what I really hate? TV shows on TV shows. Yeah, we get it. You caught a big break. Your character doesn't need to do the same thing, okay? I want to let you in on a secret. When I was working at Stop and Shop, I only got 16 hours a week because my boss was a squatter. She gave 30 plus hours to another Indian working as a cashier. How do you like that? A non-white racist person. My front-end supervisor, Karen, she wasn't any better. You wonder why I always call myself retarded? Besides the fact of it being true, I asked her, why do I always push carts? She said to me, because you do it so well. Patronizing bitch, I hope you have one too many free samples and suffer from a heart attack, bitch. Oh, never mind. My other front-end manager, Steve, he just didn't like me. Because I asked him if I could have extra hours, but he gave me the same excuse Hillary Clinton gave. Steve said he couldn't afford it. Oh, it was so bad, but they were giving everybody pay cuts. So that's it. They couldn't afford to give me more hours. But you know what's really fucked up? The fact that he would trade new cashiers and baggers every day I worked. My other boss was black. This was at Macy's. I kind of screwed that up myself because I didn't really like folding clothes, so I quit. But she was also very condescending and patronizing, not patriotic, patronizing. Because I told her this isn't the type of work for me, so I'm going to call my dad and have him pick me up. So she said, yeah, just call your daddy and have him pick you up. Funny thing about the retail clothing stores, they always seem to have those tile screws with the trees planted on top. And with the rope as a consolation prize, one of those trees could have your name on it, Miss Boss Lady. One more thing about jobs. I was taking a stroll one day, and I noticed the Asian guy who lives in a Section 8 housing has 5 cars, and his wife works at a restaurant. He's on welfare. But the point is, I saw him watering his plants. Why doesn't he apply for a gardening job? It means to me he is contributing on doing something, watering plants, instead of getting paid by the government, get paid by an employer, right? College is a waste of time. I had 2 years of interviewing, weather forecasting, and camera work in nashoba tech. Why do you have to go to college anyway? A college degree is just a piece of paper. You know what else is a piece of paper? A resume or a high school diploma. And what are those? What you accomplished in school or in work, just written down. You know what we need? We need a Twilight Zone effect. Last night I was watching the Twilight Zone, and there was this old guy who knew what everybody needed. He handed some guy a bus ticket. I forget where though. So the phone rang, and it turned out the guy got offered a job in that exact place, and he wanted him to take a bus there. But his jacket was dirty. So a woman came over with a cleaning liquid and washed out the stain. This other guy, Fred, was following the old man, asking what he needed. So the old man gave him scissors. Turns out he got his scarf caught in an elevator, and he had to cut it. Next day, he was in the old man's apartment, and got a dripping fountain pen from him. It dripped on a racehorse, and he won $250. So I saw the old man once again, and this time he went away. He went through the briefcase and found a pair of shoes. He didn't need them, but he put them on anyway. Then he slipped into the street, and a car hit him. We need that for liberals. People don't really need the welfare checks that are handed out so carelessly. My point is, if you don't need them, something bad should happen to you. Doctors and policemen are crooks. First of all, if you need an operation, you shouldn't have to pay a copay. $20 too. Let's not forget the huge ambulance bill. I know gas is expensive, but there's no need to charge someone $2,000 to ride in the ambulance. They just stick with tubes anyway. If you've ever been in 4th grade playing with glue, you know how that is. I'm starting out my own medical office with tubes. It's easy enough, and you know what? You pay what you want. Just like George Costanza said, I pay what I say. Police are even worse. They get paid $70 an hour for standing for something called detour. Basically, they get paid to be a retired karate instructor. Side attack, side attack, side attack. Block, block, block. Front attack, front attack, front attack. Front block. Teachers are perhaps the worst. They have your child for 8 hours, punishing him or her if they dress a certain way, act a certain way, or even talk a certain way. I remember one time in school I had to go to the principal's office because I called a kid black, and I got a strict talking to about how that wasn't right. I thought that was a pride thing. Listen, I'm going to make this real easy for you. Why do kids like Superman? Because he stops the bad guys and saves the townspeople. So he shows the best interest for the people he lives with and around. Makes sense, doesn't it? I guess I want to say it should be the same way with politicians. Only if they show this, they have the integrity of having the best interest for the country, for our country, never mind the world. Or that scene from Spider-Man. Doc Ock had a bus full of people ready to drop to the ground. That would be the American people. And he also had Jane on the other side ready to drop to the ground. That would represent their political agendas. Spider-Man ended up saving both. But that's not the case with the Democrats. They leave us to drop to the ground and die. Don't believe me? Revoluzionist at Revoluzionist 6 hours ago said Obama stops arms sale of hellfire to Israel, signs $11 billion arms with Qatar, Hamas' biggest ally. This has changed Obama promised. One more thing about superheroes. This ties in exactly with what's going on now. The superheroes, Republicans, want to stop the bad guys, Democrats, but the bad guys got the woman, which would be women's rights in this case, with the issues of employers being forced to pay for their contraception. The woman being captured forces the superhero to let go and temporarily gives control to the bad guys. Liberals remind me of my brother. A long time ago, I made a gesture that I was going to slide down the banister, but I didn't do it. I stopped sliding after a couple inches. That's what dignified women say after trying pole dancing for the first time. Anyway, so my brother slid down the banister and broke his arm. The point is, the liberal talking heads give these Democrat voters the slightest bit of leeway on an idea, like employers paying for women's birth control, being women's rights, and you get thousands of women protesting about how it should be just that. They talk about the right-winger being the party of crazy people. Think again. Women have about as much of a right of having someone else pay for their contraception as I do having someone else pay for a mansion I want. I want to end today's video with a quote from Five Shot, a World of Warcraft player. All the illegals getting welfare, all the blacks getting welfare. A lot of people seem to be getting welfare. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good.